You've been told your whole life to be yourself. Just be yourself. Authenticity is the highest virtue, the secret to happiness, the key to relationships, the path to success. And you've tried, agonized over whether your posts reflect the real you, asked, is this authentic, before choosing a profile, picture, a career, a partner, a pair of jeans, curated your personality like a museum exhibit, carefully selecting which quirks to display and which to hide. And here's the paradox that makes you want to delete every account and move to a cave. The more you try to be authentic, the more fake you become, because authenticity can't be pursued directly. The moment you ask, am I being authentic, you've already stepped outside yourself. You're now performing authenticity, and performance is the opposite of real. A quiet study found that people instructed to be themselves during an interview were rated as less genuine and less likable than those given no such instruction, because authentic people don't think about authenticity, they just are, and your brain's self-monitoring network activates when you know you're being watched. But adding be authentic creates a feedback loop. Is this me? Am I being me correctly? Which is the opposite of flow. Flow is forgetting yourself. Authenticity chasing is being unable to stop remembering yourself, and that remembering is a performance. The American twist is we've turned authenticity into a product, buying authentic brands, following authentic influencers, seeking authentic experiences, making real a marketing category, so the most curated, filtered person on Instagram is called authentic if they occasionally post a no-makeup selfie, which isn't authenticity. It's a costume with a different label. We've confused self-consciousness with self-knowledge, performing flaws with actually having them, turned "I'm just being honest" into a cruelty license, and made authenticity a mask we wear to prove we're not wearing a mask, and we're exhausted. But here's the reversal that only fully settles the second time you sit with it. The most authentic Americans aren't the ones who talk about authenticity. They're the ones who've never heard the word. They don't ask, is this me? They just do things, change their minds without apology, have contradictions-loving country and opera, voting left and right, being generous and selfish on different days, and don't explain, don't post manifestos, don't perform complexity for approval. They're too busy living to curate a persona, because authenticity isn't something you achieve. It's what happens when you stop trying to achieve it. The residue of a life lived without an audience. Let me tell you about Rachel, an authenticity seeker with a blog about being real, a podcast about vulnerability, an Instagram full of unfiltered photos carefully staged to look spontaneous, spending hours crafting posts about learning to love her flaws, miserable, and her therapist ask, when was the last time you did something without wondering how it would look? And Rachel couldn't remember. Every meal, outfit, opinion filtered through, is this authentic? So the therapist prescribed 1 week of radical inauthenticity, post things obviously fake, use filters, pose, quote, cheesy sayings, be deliberately performative. And Rachel thought it was insane, but tried, posted a heavily filtered green smoothie with mornings are for winners, shared hustle culture quotes, wore an outfit she'd never wear and didn't explain, and felt free because when you're obviously performing, there's that. No pressure to be real, the performance is the point, and she realized her authenticity had been the most exhausting performance of all. Deleted the blog, stopped asking, is this me, kept the podcast, but renamed it Sometimes I Pretend, and her audience grew because people could finally relax around her. She wasn't trying to be anything, she was just there. The American cognitive paradox sits right here. We've turned authenticity into a performance and then punish ourselves for performing, and the only escape is to stop caring about authenticity altogether, understanding that you can't be yourself because yourself isn't fixed. It changes, contradicts, grows, and the most authentic thing you can do is stop trying to be authentic. Just live, make choices, be inconsistent, and if someone calls you a fake, shrug. They're probably performing their own authenticity by calling you out. Right now, your brain wants to defend authenticity, but the pursuit is the enemy of the real. The hunter becomes the hunted. The only way to be real is to forget about being real. The question from the beginning, why does chasing authenticity make you fake, has an answer that a second viewing reveals. You can't see your own face. only reflection, and the more you stare at the reflection, the less you live in the original. So if something just unclenched, if the impulse sparked to send this to someone who posts about vulnerability but never seems vulnerable, that's not about me. It's the recognition that the performance isn't their fault, it's the trap we're all in, and sharing it might be the first unperformed moment of the day. Now go do something without asking whether it's you. That's an order.